Angel blessings, beloved souls. It has been quite some while since I made my last video. Even if I think I said in a few videos before, yeah, so a lot is going on, many things are going on, we know that. But no matter the insights and the channelings and informations I'm getting, well, I'm always told what I can share, what I cannot share. But in the last 10 days, something started to happening on the outside, let's put it this way. And I was looking closely at the topic, and as you can see at the title is Johnny Depp Trial Amber Heard and Healing the World. I went into something that I don't usually do so intensively, but I felt this is deep, and it reflects what is going on some levels altogether. As an old Hermetic saying says, as below so above, as above so below, or as inside so outside. Everything is a reflection of everything, So this trial is not just a trial as in, this celebrity world, or as a good friend says, clown world, just entertaining. And no. We have to have on our minds, of course, these people are celebrities, they're rich, they're famous, but at the end of the day, they're human beings as you and I and everyone else, and they're going to stuff as we all do, but now for a very good reason, as I felt it, and for 10 days I was really watching the trial, and it hasn't been easy for me really, but I felt I have to because of the healing work, because I felt it is important. Going a bit into the astrology, what is going on now, it somehow really reflects, as I see it or perceive it, It's the Uranus in Taurus, so many, but it's going on already for a year or two. Cleaning, healing up Mother Earth energies, grounding. Then I think, oh yeah, the interesting thing is we have Mars and Venus, I think now for 3 months, basically, traveling together. Mars and Venus representing the male and the female. Then, as I can recall, Chiron is still for a few years, I think, in the wounded healer, right? Is in Aries, which is the ruler is Mars, very impulsive and very. It's like he's really, with all together, pushing, no matter the pain, pushing for healing. No matter how painful things are, it is time for healing. And in this case, it was very interesting to see. I mean, sometimes you come across in some media or whatever, okay, some things. I didn't know it went for so long times on with Johnny Depp and his ex-wife Amber Heard. I didn't know the details. Honestly, I didn't even know who Amber Heard is, but okay, through the trial and all around, I found a lot of things out. And yeah, as I said again, if I just. And with the Pluto constellations, we who know astrology a bit and following, we know it is time for the truth to come out, because it has to. So before we can go into a healing, any healing process of what matter the topic is, what our problems are, we have to acknowledge them, realize them, face them, and then go into healing. And this is where I saw that actually, with the first words that Johnny Depp in the trial said, mm, no matter how this outcome is of the trial, I've already lost. I lost everything. And I'm fighting for the truth first. That's what he said, and fighting for his and his children's, name and reputation, and he just doesn't want to stay there where it was. That no matter the fact he lost whatever contracts and the film industry, and he doesn't care. He cares about the truth. And that would be, that's the denominator of healing right now, right here. The male and female war going on for quite some time, a long time, too long time. Um, what comes to my mind, I wrote like 12 years ago a poem called Together, and it didn't become a bestseller, but the friends and family and people who ordered and read it really loved it, because it's from my heart. I say always, I actually channeled it. It's about a healing process. It's about, yes, we know. Uh, what I want to point out is, people have like been a little bit confused. Is this feministic or not? I said, no, read deep. That's why the poem is called Together. It's about healing and coming together. So it is shortly expressed, the point of, spoken through a female aspect. I walked with my brother, throughout the whole, um, to us known humankind, civilizations, and the female supporting and the male and walking all along, and no matter what the male did, wars, conquering, and this and that, and then you in the 60s, 70s, marching for freedom and for peace, and then at one point, when the female says, no, it's enough, I won't anymore march and not walk, and I don't support the so-called patriarchy going on. And then it's not about calling upon matriarchy per se, which we who know in many, especially, I don't know, Native Americans, most people don't know, or other indigenous old cultures, matriarchy was, no, let's say dominant. But the point is, as many call it now, we're entering the age of Aquarius and equality, and yeah, it's about coming together, equally as two partners. There's a reason, as God created us according to his image, right? So which, you can see in many, like in the Vedic, in the Hinduism and so on, and Buddhism, you have the, female and the male aspect of God. One does not go without the other. Basically, yes, one does not go without the other. So if we just continue living in the use and abuse energies, it doesn't matter which side, but, we are doomed. We are doomed anyway. Things have to be cleaned. Let's go back to the healing process. So, so watching for 10 days, I think now, the trial, and, so many ugly things came up. Yes, it is ugly. It is extremely ugly. But I love the fact how Johnny Depp, as he said, he has nothing to lose. He already lost. There's so much, smearing about him, and whatever things out there. And on the other side, so many of his celebrity friends supporting him, knowing him as a very, nice guy, gentleman, very kind and very charitable and compassionate. And then, her side, which seems, a little bit contradictory. So what is going on here? So yes, many ugly things came out, and they have to. There is no other way. And I loved his attitude, as in, saying, I have nothing to lose, and he being prepared that even now more of the ugly, really in detail stuff coming out. This is really someone who doesn't care anymore. As he said, I don't have anything to lose. I just want to clean it up, to clean it up. And I guess, seeking healing for himself, for his children, But the first thing that I noticed is, I call it, really this is where the feminist camp, I guess, would jump in. Something I noticed for a very, very long time, I guess since I was a kid or a teenager. Um, yes, there was really this patriarchy everywhere where you look around. It's male politicians, presidents, CEOs, and still in whatever industry, females don't have the same rights or salaries, no matter how proud we are that how long we came in the last 100 years. But in many ways, no. Still, the respect towards women is not as it's supposed to be. On the one hand, on the other hand, a parallel that is going on for a too long time is what I call the castration of man, of male. So in a way, our so-called civilization turned in matters of many matters, with the feminism and whatever, turned into women are, per se, just automatically in any kind of violent, domestic violent or relationship, they are the victims, which is not the true. Those of you who are aware are, who not, what can I do? And just prior to this trial, we had this incident which really also reflected so the Will Smith and Chris Rock Oscar slap, so the how to say that, the default two male black man, one slaps the other. So wow, what was that all about? It for me, it was just an introduction into um introduction into what now happens with the Johnny Depp AmberHeard trial. About, you know I don't want to, go into details. Did Chris Rock know or not? But I assume he didn't really know what that Jada had a condition. I guess he would never make a joke otherwise. But this two black male and this, it became really like, how you call it? I'm missing the word now. Um, Not default. What's the word? The typical, two, violent black man. You know And those of you who know really in America what is going on, not so much here in my corner of the world as in Europe, but it's still going on, but not so massively, I would say, as in America. That in the African American population, we know the father figure has been really taken down long time ago, humiliated in so many ways, and taken out of the family. So um, African American children growing up with the father as a safety, security net, as a role model, is a long time destroyed and damaged. And so then we see this Oscar slap, which reflects that. It's sad to see, but who sees and thinks about it and analyzes deeply can find a lot of things that has to do with this healing process, becoming aware of what is actually going on. So in this Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, we see the total process of healing going on, which is extremely necessary for the whole collective consciousness, because it happens, but it has so much, and behind closed doors, um, where women are really using and abusing nice, gentle, empathic males, and well, but they always get away with it because the whoever rules, so to speak, the world at the moment, it supports their whatever they want, the agenda of the male being basically totally castrated, feeling guilty all the time, feeling, don't get me wrong, a lot of violent men out there, there's no doubt about it. Uh, but then we are talking about a healing process, Chiron in Aries, Mars, the ruler, the angry, it wants to be healed, the male aspect in so many way is screaming out, I want to be healed, I need peace, I want love, I want peace. A natural human condition, nature is to love, to be loved, to receive and to give love, to live together in joy, peace, happiness, harmony. It's, this is our tendency. Everyone, basically, normal, what is normal. But okay, has this tendency when we met someone, we want to live in love, peace, and harmony, right? And happiness. What comes to my mind is, I don't want to go too much deep into this topic now. This is maybe for another video, but just on the surface, I saw some headlines like where, or statements Johnny Depp said when he met Amber, like too good to be true. And it reminded me, and now please listen carefully to me, I'm not judging, condemning anyone, and not Amber or anyone. It's a very often thing that I came across with my healing therapy work, when a narcissist meets a very empathic partner. Could be any side, it doesn't matter who is who on the male or female side, but it is mostly, that's another topic, as I said, why we have so many, you have narcissists, male and female, okay, but I came across a lot of the situation, and as in Johnny Depp and AmberHeard, where he was a nice, gentle, empathic, obviously generous, kind person. But the thing is, yes, and in the trial came up whatever the mental health issue, and this is where I also want to say the importance of it is, no, wait, I want to go first into the, also it's important, the age difference. I think it's 25 years between them. The thing is, looking back into history, a bit of history, so we have in the past a lot of famous men who had younger wives, like 20, 30 years younger than them, and had a nice marriage, actually, it functioned. It was in harmony and love and respect and so on. Uh, at the moment, we have quite some difference, the generation gap seems to be really of a huge problem, because I witnessed, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, there was a totally different, how to say, approach to the world and the meaning of life. And what happened to the generations of end of 80s and then 90s and now 2000s, we were those generations who still were, without social media and all this time-consuming BS. We were reading, we were curious, we were exploring, we were searching, so to speak, for 42, for the meaning of life. But this now has become a huge problem. Another problem, okay, back to the mental health issue, is that the very shameful and sad part is that basically in no time, and anyway in my time, as I said, we did research and we read and so on, searching for the meaning of life and who is who and what is what, and exploring still very seriously the laws of nature and the laws of humankind. And okay, but these generations, whatever, I don't know, millennials and what, how they call them, born in the 90s and 80s, they didn't grow up with this, and they didn't grow up with a very important thing of being deep, in anything, just superficial, extremely materialistic goals of life. Most of it, we never, I mean, don't generalize, but it's very, very common today. So it's just body, type of body, money, materialistic stuff and enjoyment, searching satisfaction in this, whereas Johnny Depp is, of course, still the older generation, and you can see him. He's a multitasking artist. He started and still is a musician. Then he's an actor. And as I saw some paintings, he's also a great painter, in my opinion. So his look at the world is still, you know, as I said, in this generation, we still have it alive in us. In her case, not anymore. But the sad, shameless thing is, in no, how to say, no time have we really been taught anywhere, in schools, colleges, or families, environment, it doesn't matter. We have been really taught about, the damages that happened, as in being abused as a child or a teenager or later on, things that we call today mental health issues, the root of it. It was never really deep addressed. Again, it's not part of the world ruling agenda, on the contrary, as much sick people, angry people, unfortunately, you who know, you know what I'm talking about. So of course then Johnny Depp has his childhood experiences, and he, in my opinion, as I have mine too, and I'm sure many of you as well, no matter how old you are, many of you faced many or lots or a few, it doesn't matter. It impacts everyone personally, individually. But somehow, I would say the older generations, we somehow found our ways to deal with it. We have been, in a way, to still the atmosphere of the society we grew up at that times. um, we were, I don't know how to express this, let's say we had some guidelines or self-initiative to taught ourselves how to deal with it, no matter how painful it was. For him and his siblings, of course, it's extremely painful when you listen what happened to them. But he found his way, for example, to music, first of all, and then accidentally to acting, and then later on with painting. He found out. So you see this. I haven't watched many movies, but some movies, so extremely eccentric characters that he brought out there. And as many people say, actually in private life he is very shy, not so much, really eccentric. So anyway, that's a nice part. So you have this shy kid, whatever, young man, and then in his arts he expresses all the maybe whatever wanna be, but trying to find his way to heal, really, through his performance of different arts. He had his way of healing, something that The younger generation, my kids are about the age, maybe a little bit younger than AmberHeard. Um, I tried my best, as I'm sure many of you did as well, trying your best to pass it on to them. But I always said you can give only 50% to your children. Yeah, it needs a village, right? So the 50% of the society in the last 20, 30 years, 35 is, well, yeah, it's not really based on any kind of, I would say, spiritual nature, to look for spirituality, for connecting yourself with the real, the real reality, as in being connected to nature and to everything that is. It's just based on quick, fast, instant, I always say instant karma, instant satisfaction, sense gratification, body image, brands, all the consumerism and so on and so forth. So, okay, maybe I lost a bit of track now. So definitely, Amber Heard, she had her childhood and youth issues that have not been addressed. So, yes, she is definitely also, let's say, a victim, so-called victim, because we all are just so-called victims. I won't even go into the law of karma at the moment, just as much. So, but she obviously didn't had the surrounding around her and the support system, as many of these younger generations don't have, to find a real way to deal, which means equally to heal whatever happened to her in her childhood or youth that she kept on carrying with her. I guess, of course, from relationship to relationship, and then escalating in her marriage and relationship with Johnny Depp. Which, another thing comes to my mind, for Johnny Depp, that's why it's so important, I guess, for the healing of the world, as I said, he finally met his, sounds silly, but I mean, you will understand me. He met his mother, just in a younger form, everything that he taught, maybe in a way that he worked or healed through his artwork, that he has done it. But this is how karma works, by the way. When you think, okay, lesson done, test passed, then comes the final one, which no, you don't see it coming. That's how it goes. And for him, it was meeting, yeah, this young, handsome, sweet, actress, and it seems they have so much in common. But that's the trap. This is how karma comes in, just in another form if you haven't healed whatever you have to heal. And yeah, and then the painful facing, actually, is this really happening to me? This can't be. I healed my mother's relationship. I even, through his talk about the last years of her, and she passing away and he taking care of her, and he has done his, let's say, forgiveness process with her, which is very good. I always say, people, please do that as you have the opportunity. If you have parents that hurt you in any way, no matter what, I had the same. I feel blessed with both my parents. When they passed away, we I had the opportunity to, for forgiveness, both sides, to ask each other for forgiveness and, let go in peace. So he did it, and then he thought, that's it. I can say from my experience the same here. As I I thought the same. I'm done. When my parents died and I was in peace and I know they were in peace. And then a few years later, karma comes in another form and it always goes like that. Nice, wow, honeymoon, for the first few years or whatever, months sometimes. But then it hits you and you can't believe it. Is this really happening to me? The same thing, because if you start analyzing and you observe it and you watch, you after some time you realize, no, this is not possible. I've healed that. I've been through this, but well, this is how it goes. So for Johnny Depp, it was meeting Amber, or his mother Betty Sue, again just in another form, to remind him that his deepest, deepest, deepest pains and suffering, no matter what he has done in the last few decades, he had not healed yet.